Hello, thanks for joining me again for this week's yoga. Today we're going to focus on a bit of yin. So come forward into a child's pose. You can have your knees together or apart for this, whichever feels good in your body. Let your head hang heavy, let your chest fall towards the floor, and feel yourself melting down into the ground. Make sure to keep your breath slow and even, maybe counting to 3 on an inhale and 4 on an exhale. This helps to slow down our nervous system, heart rate and blood pressure, preparing us for our long passive holds. Slowly come back up to seated. Start to bring your legs out in front of you and come into a butterfly pose with your feet together and your knees open out to the side. If you find that your knees are up quite high, this can make the pose very uncomfortable, so make sure that you have a series of props around you, pillows, blocks, blankets, just to put yourself at ease. You can place these underneath your knees to give yourself some support. Once you find a comfortable position, move your feet away from your body to create a diamond shape and start to round forward, letting your body arch over your legs, letting gravity pull your head towards your feet. Yin is a passive practice, so make sure you're not efforting towards this pose. Gravity is the prime component here. Let yourself relax down into it and just make sure you're breathing deeply. We won't be here too long. This might be starting to feel quite intense. Try and resist the urge to fidget or grit your teeth as you feel your body release and get lower towards the ground. Well done. Come back up to a seated position, rolling up slowly and letting your head come up last. Lean back on your hands for a moment just to release some of the pressure in your groin and hips. Next, bring your blocks with you and come onto your hands and knees, placing the blocks at the top of the mat. You may not need your blocks, but it's always handy to have them nearby. Bring your right leg forward into a low lunge, bringing the foot to the outside of the right hand. For the first few moments of being in the pose, rock from side to side, let yourself relax, let your hips drop, and just get yourself into a comfortable position. If you can feel that you're very tight in the hips, or that coming down any further would be uncomfortable to you, this is where you might want to use your blocks. You can bring your blocks to any level, high, medium or low, to support your body type and comfort levels. As you get more comfortable, you may want to come down onto your elbows or remove the block completely. Just remember that we're going to be holding this for a while, so ensure that you pick a pose that you're able to sit in. Bear in mind that this will become intense. This pose is called dragon pose, so the whole purpose is to build that fire. Start to relax into stillness, breathing deeply, letting the stomach expand with every inhale and deflate with every exhale. As your body begins to relax further towards the floor, you might want to open your right hip slightly. You can do this by rocking onto the outer edge of the right foot, opening the right hip and creating a bit more space for you to move further. If this starts to become too intense, you can back off by bringing yourself onto your hands or propping yourself onto your blocks. Well done. Now very carefully come back onto your hands and knees. You might feel quite stiff after that long hold, that's completely normal. Just move slowly and mindfully. With intention, cycle through a few cat-cows to release your spine. You can also hammock your ribs down towards the floor and out towards the side in a circular motion. Whatever feels good to your body in this moment is the right thing to be doing. And now we'll repeat it on the left side. Bring the left foot up to the outside of the left hand and start to relax into your low lunge. Using your blocks if that's what you did on the other side, or with your hands or elbows down towards the floor. Please make sure that you're not efforting into this position. What feels good in your body may not feel good to someone else, so respect that. You want to be at about a 70% edge of your maximum effort. Remember, you can always start on your blocks, and as the fascia starts to release, you may be able to go lower. If you opened your hip on the other side, please do that now. We want to try and create some evenness between the two sides. Start to bring yourself back into your tabletop position, remembering to go slowly and gently, as you will be stiff after this move. Cycle through your cat-cows or anything else that releases your spine. Next, we're going to come into Sleeping Swan. Start to bring your right knee towards your right hand and your left foot towards your left hip. We're not going for the most intense in this pose, so make sure you keep your foot close to your hip rather than trying to make it parallel to the edge of your mat. If your right hip is high off the ground, you can use a prop, a pillow, blanket, anything to place underneath so that you have something to press back into. If you have room, you can take the block away and start to bring yourself down onto your forearms, again on your blocks, on your hands, or you can relax your face down onto a block or onto the floor directly. Remember, we're not trying to effort into any of these poses, we're letting our body weight and gravity do all of the work. Start to relax into stillness again. You'll start to notice that your muscles release your bones and you're able to sink even deeper. Use this opportunity to inhale into your back ribs, trying to expand through the back of the body rather than the front. This is quite difficult, but it may help to take your mind off of the intense pose. Start to bring your hands back under your shoulders and push yourself up. Stretching out your lower back and chest, raise your head towards the sky and look upwards. Just a brief counter pose to that forward bend. Come back to your tabletop position and again cycle through anything you need to do, stretching your leg out behind you to stretch the calf and hip, or just cycling through your cat-cows. Start to bring the left knee towards the left hand and the left foot towards the right hip. You might find that this side feels completely different. Everybody has imbalances from the right to the left side. This is completely normal, and one of the reasons that we practice this kind of yoga, so that we can bring cohesion into the body. Remember to prop yourself up if you did on the other side. Otherwise, start to come forward into your sleeping swan pose. Prop yourself up in whichever way you did on the other side, using a block for your head, or stretching your arms out in front, resting your head to the floor. You can even create a pillow for the head using the backs of your hands. Or you could just use a pillow. Become still and start to focus again on your deep breathing. Do a brief jaw check to make sure that you're not clenching your jaw and causing any undue strain through your neck and face. Start to push yourself back up, stretching out your back and chest and letting your head fall backwards in your sleeping swan counter pose. Very slowly start to bring yourself back onto all fours, stretching your left leg out behind you this time and cycling through your cat-cows. Start to come into a seated position with your legs stretched out in front of you. Rock side to side and remove the flesh from your sits bones. Bring your right knee in towards your chest and start to place it up to the outside of your left thigh, stacking your knees one on top of the other or as close as you can get. Start to relax your feet in this position and breathe in deeply, opening your chest. Now here you have the option to either start to round forward, or you can stay up in a seated position, whichever feels best in your body right now. In Yin, it is perfectly natural to let yourself have a round back. Your head is acting as a counterweight to pull yourself further towards your knees. You can prop a pillow, a blanket or a block between your knee and your head if you want somewhere to rest your forehead. You should be getting a significant stretch through your lower back, through your hips and through your hamstring. Start to slowly walk your hands back so you're in an upright position. Start to bring your right leg back to the right side of the mat and bend your left leg behind you. You should have two 90-degree angles between your knees in this 90-90 position. Start to gently twist yourself over to the left. You can hold on to your left thigh or shin if this helps you. This should create a nice gentle twist through your torso. Bring your legs back out in front of you and shake out through the knees. We're going to repeat on the other side. So start to straighten the right knee out in front of you, bring the left knee into the chest and start to place it on the outside of the right thigh. Stack your knees and relax your feet. Sit up tall, or if you feel you have the space, start to round forward into your forward fold, letting your head hang heavy like a bowling ball. Continue with your deep breathing, again trying to expand through the back ribs as much as possible. Start to come back up to an upright position. Release your legs into that 90-90 position. This time you're going to spin over the right leg, either holding the thigh or the shin, whatever feels good to you, creating that gentle twist through the torso and back. Bring your knees back out in front of you, letting them fall side to side in a windshield wiper motion. Bring yourself to a laying position and hug your right knee into your chest, letting the knee fall over to the left side in a supine twist, letting your right arm fall open to the side at shoulder height. This should feel amazing through your lower back after all the work you've done today. Come back up to center and start to switch legs, hugging your left leg into your chest, letting it fall over your body and opening your left arm out towards the side, gazing over your left shoulder. Come back to centre and hug the knees tight into your body, rocking side to side to release the lower back. On your next exhale, let everything go and lay down in Shavasana with your arms wide to the side and your feet wide to the edges of the mat. Release any control you have over the breath and just let yourself breathe normally. Feel the pressure of your body on the floor and start to notice the points of your body where you've worked today. If you have longer, I would recommend staying in your Shavasana for up to 10 minutes, really letting yourself enjoy the fruits of your labours today. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you back here next week. Like and subscribe for more content.